Hi, my name is Ben Galter, and in this presentation I will talk about my strategies to move from student to a music producer. Music producers occupy an important role within the music industry. They are essential in the recording process, as bands need to record songs for documentation and for selling. With the changes and advancements in technology over the last few decades, the role of music producer has also changed greatly. This presentation will show my musical background, as well as focus on how these technological changes have affected music producers, what their day-to-day duties look like, and my strategies to achieve a career in the music production industry. My passion for music began when I was 7, when my parents took me to piano lessons. This passion grew through school until in grade 11 I had learnt bass guitar, piano, guitar, double bass, cello, and percussion. At this point, I was involved in every band and orchestra and choir my high school had to offer. On top of performing regularly, I would also often help to set up the live sound equipment and also run it at these performances. At the beginning of grade 12, the question was continually asked what we would do after high school. For me, this question was answered simply with music. I had always wanted to form a career out of music since I was young, and thought that through university it would help me sculpt this idea into something more realistic. Initially, I only took the production minor because I didn't want to be a performer who was ignorant to all the processes happening around them. But after starting these classes, I found them very interesting and wished to continue production after university. The role of music producer has changed greatly over the years, mainly due to new technologies in the recording studio. Robert McAuliffe defined the role of a producer with the following 3 points. They get the artist to perform to their limits of his or her potential, they achieve this on schedule, and they achieve this on budget. While this is an adequate overview of the role, producers also have a hand in the creative side of a project. He guides the musicians as they try to create a hit record. He may ask them to speed up, change the pitch, or change the lyrics. Most of the creative input is undertaken in the pre-production stage, or the stage before a band even gets to the studio. Australian producer and QUT lecturer Lachlan Magoo-Gould described a week on the job to the music industry inside out and gives great insight into the role. A rehearsal before the recording started gave Magoo time to meet with the band and work with them on how to record the songs and make any changes to get the songs stronger. Once in the studio, it is a producer's role to ensure a smooth recording session and that the song recorded is the best the artist could put forward at the time. This includes a number of different tasks including microphone choices, microphone placements, what instruments to use, what amps to use, and if anything needs to be done to alter the sound of the room. On top of the equipment choices, producers need to help the artists perform to their fullest potential. Magoo spoke to Inside Out about recording vocals a section at a time rather than doing the entire song. This allows for the artist to create better breath control and leads to a stronger performance in each section rather than an average performance over the entire song. When recording Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Kramer described how he would make Hendrix comfortable in the studio. From the outset, Hendrix had strong reservations about his vocal ability. To help overcome his discomfort, I would put petitions all around him and dim the lights. Once the song is recorded, a producer may also be involved in the mixing process, or do it entirely themselves. This step takes the sounds recorded and changes their volumes and textures so that they blend better together, creating the entire song. As with many careers in the music industry, a beginning point is often very hard to define. Robert McAuliffe said, "An important word to anyone interested in becoming a producer is experience. You should come from somewhere." Now, gaining this experience is both easier, but also harder than it was in the age of the big recording studios. Producer Mark Ellis began his career as a runner in a number of London studios, getting tea and biscuits for the artists. This is what led to his professional name, Flood. But these opportunities often aren't available, as studios have mostly downsized since Flood's beginnings in the 1970s. However, some standalone studios still remain, such as Studio 301 in Byron Bay and Airlock in North Brisbane. Some of these studios will take interns to gather experience, but not all of them. The affordability of new technology, however, has also made it easier for beginner producers to get some hands-on experience. For a lot of current producers, their beginnings were humble home studios through which they were able to build a reputation that spread to the musical community. But overall, securing a job in the production industry is often difficult. You need to be able to build a reputation for yourself and network with the community around you. And sometimes, knowing the right people at the right time and being in the right place is also very helpful. While production will always have a place in the music industry as artists seek to record their ideas for future sales, its success and way it interacts with the rest of the industry has changed greatly over the years. The greatest reason for these changes is technology. With the advent of digital audio workstations, or DAWs, such as Pro Tools, Ableton Live, and Logic, the functionality of the bigger studios are now very affordable to the do-it-yourself producer. Cash-strapped bands can now seek out cheaper alternatives rather than paying a producer for all the steps required for an album. This could mean a band can record and mix their songs themselves and then seek out a mastering engineer for just the final stage and still have a comparable product to the more expensive alternative. This obviously has affected the production industry as it moves with these changes. It has also placed a high emphasis on producers to go over and above just recording a song so that the bands feel that they get their money's worth. These concerns then loop back to how does a young producer get experience? As studios have higher expectations, they are less likely to take on inexperienced interns. Beginner producers with very small home studios also struggle as they don't have the experience and the know-how of the larger producers, and so bands often won't work with them. This knowledge and know-how only comes through the experience, and this cycle then begins again. To work towards a future career in the production industry, I have the following two strategies. One, to seek out studios and producers around Brisbane who would take interns or assistants. And two, gather experience through a small studio with a friend or through my church. As the future in production takes time, I do not expect anything spectacular to happen in the next 3 years. During this time, I intend to still be involved heavily in the music industry as much as possible to network and enjoy music, more than likely with a gigging band. I also intend to spend more time around the musicians and production team at my church to learn more about different equipment and techniques that they use every Sunday. I would be particularly interested in aiding a friend from university who is just starting up a small studio in his home, and would like to see how successful this idea could be. Should nothing happen in Brisbane after a period of time, I would also be interested in moving to Sydney or Melbourne to experience that culture and to see if I can gather more experience down south. Thank you.